Hey everybody, today I'm going to be installing Vance & Hines short shot exhaust on my Harley Sportster. Now if you look behind me right here, I've got a brand new breather on here as well, an Arlen Ness Big Sucker. I started shooting a video on that while I was screwing in one of the standoff bolts. I stripped the heck out of one of the threads on the throttle body. I ended up having to bring it to a machinist to get a steel insert in there for the threading, turn into a big mess, ruin the whole video. What I learned from this is that I'm an idiot and don't be like me and strip out threads because it's a big headache. Brand new throttle body, if it got that bad, would have costed me about $800. So let's get started. Alright, I just took the two heat shields off. Next I'm going to be loosening the bolts for the flange here. Then I'm going to be removing the exhaust from the brackets down here. Okay, and remember to disconnect the two O2 sensors. When you plug them back in, make sure you're putting them in the right plug because they do have different fuel maps. Alright, now I'm going to remove the old gasket from the block. Okay, I just realized I did have to loosen these two bolts on the bracket for the master cylinder so I can get this out of the way so I can pull this whole plate off here. A lot of the videos on these exhaust systems have people with 883s that have mid controls, so I think that this linkage is not normally in the way with mid controls. This bike has forward controls. So I'm going to take this bracket off here. I got a last bolt here. This is from the old exhaust, and then we'll put the new bracket on as well. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put some Loctite on here on the threads. And ahead of time here, I put these flange bolts in here because I won't have room when I have this tightened down and installed to fit these bolts through. So I'll put these through ahead of time. Okay, these bolts for the bracket are going to be torqued down to between 30 and 33 foot-pounds, so I'm going to go with 32 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, I'm going to reinstall the drive belt cover. I've been constantly tinkering around with the master cylinder here, so the proper way that works best if you have forward controls is to disconnect the two bolts for the bracket for the master cylinder and pull out the pin for the actual rod, pull it back and drop it, and you'll have plenty of room to put this in now. So just like the bracket for the exhaust, we're going to put Loctite on these bolts, then we're going to torque them down to 32 foot-pounds, between 30 and 33 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, I pulled these flanges and the collars off because we need to reuse those for the new exhaust. Same with these O2 sensors, I pulled them off. As I said, just make sure you're putting these O2 sensors on the same pipes on the new exhaust because the fuel mixture is set for that specific pipe. Alright, I got it all put in. I tightened up the flanges, tightened up the exhaust of the brackets, and got the heat shields all installed. Now I'm just going to do the fuel management system, which you want to have. You need to have that because these bikes run really lean from the factory and you're making it breathe out a lot more. So I'm using the Vance & Hines system right here. It's really easy, just run it through an app and then you can unplug it and it's good to go. Okay, so I'm shooting this months after I installed the exhaust, and so I can just give a better opinion on the whole thing, and I will say that it is way better than what came on the bike, and I highly suggest changing out the exhaust. It changed my opinion of the bike big time. It sounds so much better. If you swap from one aftermarket exhaust to this one, it might not be as impressive, but it's just night and day from stock exhaust to this, so I highly suggest it. And I will also say that the quality of the parts is much better than what Harley-Davidson offers with it, especially the mounting bracket for the exhaust. It's way thicker steel, better quality. So I suggest Vance & Hines short shots. They're great. I hope this video maybe helps you out in some way. Thanks for watching, and just be sure to subscribe.